So we all owe a bit of gratitude to the events that are taking place today, to a couple of organizations that function in Albany. That's the Sierra Club Atlantic Chapter, Citizens Campaign for the Environment, and environmental advocates for helping organize this, making all these appointments, and doing the logistic that can make a day like this happening. And our next speaker is Robert Moore, the Director of Environmental Advocates. Now.
Well, thank you so much for over 600 people coming to Albany today to speak their minds and to speak from their heart about the issue of hydrofracking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm lucky enough to work at Environmental Advocates, but I received an invitation back at the end of June, right about the time my daughter was born, to serve on the state's Hydrofracking Advisory Panel. Doesn't that sound just like a wonderful thing that you'd all like to be part of someday? Any time in government when you're invited to be part of an advisory panel, you can almost be certain one thing that nobody's looking for from you is advice. And they certainly didn't want our advice on hydrofracking. Unfortunately, what the Hydrofracking Advisory Panel was established to do was not think about hydrofracking, not think about whether we should move forward in this state, but it was set up to think about how can we pay for hydrofracking to move forward. So this was something that I joined with a lot of reservations. Well, I'm happy to report to you all that now in our 6th month of meeting, we were supposed to make our recommendations for how to pay for hydrofracking and how much money the state might make from hydrofracking in November, and we still haven't been able to make those recommendations, and I'll tell you 3 reasons why. One of those reasons is when we were asked, hey, did the state conduct a public health assessment? What do you think the answer was that they told the advisory panel? No, we weren't going to do a public health assessment. And why is that? When we asked the Department of Health, why didn't you do a public health assessment? They said, nobody asked us to. Apparently they didn't want to know what those health impacts were. When we asked, well, what are the costs going to be to state government? What are the costs going to be to local government just to enable fracking to go forward? You know what we were told? We don't know. We don't know. You know, you guys are going to have to tell us, which seemed a little odd, since if we don't have information from the agencies about what they think it requires, how can we recommend what they should have? And the third thing that we learned, which I guess is just a natural flow from the first two, is that the state simply isn't prepared now. It wasn't then, and I don't see indications we're going to be in the future to allow hydrofracking to go forward in New York State. So you all have an opportunity here today. We've tried to make the governor listen. We've had our opportunity to make the DEC listen, and I'm not sure where we're at with them. But one thing we know we can get through today is you can get through to every member of the legislature your feelings about fracking, whether it's a ban, whether it's a need to make sure we have a frack-free budget, whether it's a need to make sure we do more studies and more analysis so we know what the answers are, not that we think what the answers are, but every one of you is going to make that happen today. So thank you all for coming here.